this is Evan Marquette, dating coach for smart, strong, successful women, your personal trainer for love, telling you today what men really think about sex. Technically, this should be a very long video, but I'm going to make it a relatively short video because it's not terribly complicated. I think the hard part is when you discover that men think differently about sex than you do. So everything I'm going to say is just an observation, right? This is not a justification. I'm just pointing out what you're already observing, which is that men, in general, look for sex, right? And in the process of looking for sex, find love. Now, why is that? Why is it so easy for men to separate sex and love? Why can men do things where there's no feelings involved? The answer is testosterone. Men are driven by their hormones, testosterone. It comes into us and gets developed when we're teenagers, and it's raging through our teens and our 20s and starts to slowly go down over time. Right? But the truth is that we're not slaves to our testosterone, but unless you are driven by the same testosterone, it's really hard to see the world as the same. We think men and women are equal, but they're not exactly the same. And here's the reason. Men look at everything through that sexual prism. And all those jokes about how men think with their penises, or men think about sex every 16 seconds, or whatever it is, there's an element of truth to that. If you're saying, well, what do men really think about sex? When he sees you at across a crowded room, he's not thinking, she looks like a really nice person that is probably going to be a good wife and mother. He's thinking about, she's really hot, I'd like to see her naked, how quickly can I make it happen? Right? And that doesn't mean he's a bad guy or that he doesn't want to be a good husband and father. I mean, those are completely separate things. Right? I'm going to try to figure out how to charm her and sleep with her, right? And in the process of doing so, I will discover if I also like her on top of it. Right? So I've worked with a lot of women over the years, and again, I'm making generalizations about men and women. Sometimes women do the exact same thing. They could separate sex and love easily, but men, for the most part, don't have a hard time with it at all. Right? A man could sleep with you without liking you, without seeing a future with you, without wanting to commit to you, without even finding you particularly attractive, especially if he's had something to drink. So instead of saying he shouldn't do that, right, or I would never do that, let's understand that men do that all the time. Right? He will sleep with you if you're willing, you have a pulse, you've had a couple drinks and you're there. That's all that he needs. And that doesn't mean he's a bad guy, and it doesn't mean he wants a relationship with you. So much of the friction and the confusion comes from, I wouldn't do that, why would he? Why would he keep on sleeping with me, every week if he doesn't want to be in a relationship with me? And the answer is, of course, because he can, because you let him. Right? There's no correlation between the act of sex and his feelings. Right? The feelings can grow over the time, but just because he's having sex with you doesn't mean that his feelings are going to grow over time. Right? So you're going to say, he's using me. I would reframe it to say you're allowing yourself to be used. Right? And that's a harsh thing to say, especially from a coach for women. But ultimately, it's not his job to protect you. Right? It's not his job to think about your self-interest. So why would a guy sleep with me when he has no intentions? Because he's a guy. Let's just leave that aside. Right? If you can't handle that, it's your job to protect yourself by not sleeping with guys who aren't your boyfriend. And that is not slut-shaming. I don't judge you in the least. Sleep with whoever you want. If you could have sex like a guy, separate love and emotion, separate sex, love, emotion, God bless you. Do whatever you want. What you can't do is keep complaining that guys use you when you largely allow yourself to be used by having sex with guys who have no emotional attachment to you, have made no effort to procure a relationship with you, don't plan in advance, don't pay for dates, haven't taken down their profiles, have never made any intonations of committing. They're just, casual guy. Hey, what's up? Want to hang out? If you keep on saying yes to that, you can't be too pissed at that guy. So when we get into what do men really think about sex, we think sex is fun. And it's not something you have to do with someone you love. It's not something you have to do with someone you like. It's not something you have to do with someone you're attracted to. It's something you do with someone who's willing to do it with you because it feels good and it's fun. And guys sort of hope that you're not going to get too hurt or too attached by it. Right? And invariably, they end up hurting you. So the onus as a woman is on you to understand what you can handle. If you can handle no strings attached sex, by all means, keep on having no strings attached sex. If you want to wait until you're in an exclusive relationship before you have sex, generally my recommendation. I think that's a good idea, but that's your call. But most importantly, I don't want you to think that it's men's job to change and spare your emotions. Men are going to do what's right for them. You have to do what's right for you, right? And take responsibility for your own actions, your own emotions, and your own feelings instead of expecting men to do it for you, right? Men would gladly sleep with you as long as you let them, right? So when you say, what do men think about sex? They think it's fun, they think it's harmless, right? But they don't understand the havoc that they're wreaking when you think that this means he has feelings involved. So that's their blind spot, that's their ignorance. I wish I could change all men, but I can't. This is up to you. My name is Evan Mark Katz. I'm your dating coach. If you like this video, share it with your friends. Comment in the section below. Most importantly, subscribe to my channel. Follow me on Facebook and Twitter. Go to evanmarkkatz.com, give me your name and email address, and I will send you free dating and relationship advice until you don't need dating and relationship advice. I thank you so much for your time and attention, and I will see you in my next video.